assault weapons that are already in circulation. What do you do about those?
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
Shazam to each of y'all. Kamala has been out there talking to the press, and oh my, they are wringing their hands, so excited about what she has to say. She says that your guns are safe. She ain't taking nobody's guns. She ain't taking nobody's nothing. I'm going to let her speak for herself today. Two things. One, let's let her talk for herself. And number two, I'm going to arm you with some information for when you go out and talk to the moderates, when you talk to your friends and your family and talk to coworkers about this stuff. I'm going to give you some data, some info that may help you in just forming a conversation with folks that are kind of in the middle. Should be a mess. Buckle up. Here we go. Today's episode is brought to you by TacPack.com. Every month, they bring awesomeness to your door. Everyday carry survival and gun parts to your door. It really is awesome. Regular box or the big one, the plus box. That's the big one. Huge news. The October box, $250 total value, and it's going to include this one. Check it out. The Fab Spike bipod. Going to be inside that. That's the big box. Also good news. Use the code Johnny60 with your first order and get an extra free EDC kit going to be slammed in there. Regular box, plus box. Regardless, you have to order while it's still September. TikTok, y'all. Link is below. And use that coupon code Johnny60. You people, thanks for every thumbs up. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are just so awesome. I appreciate y'all. Y'all really are. Y'all are cool. And I like you, and you're fun, and you're funny. And the comment section yesterday was a wild west. Should be a lot of fun down there again today. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Thank y'all. Here's a little bit of hard truth. Could have talked about this yesterday. The election is decided by moderates, folks in the middle. People on the ends, their vote doesn't go up or down. We already know how they're going to vote. I know how I'm voting. I know how y'all are voting. Why? Because you're conservatives and you go to work every day. But the middle, they still, they have a little bit of sway to them. And Kamala has now reached out to the middle, and she started at the debate. At the debate, she's like, oh, no. And then she dropped a bomb about her and that moron, Tim Walz. Insert any horse joke at this point. All right, here, y'all probably seen this, but just in case, let me refresh your memory. This is straight from the debate.
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Most of y'all have already seen that from the debate, talking to Donald J. Donald J says that Kamala wants to confiscate your guns. Why would he say that? And her response, Tim Walz and I, are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. We are not, remember that, we are not taking anybody's guns away. Then she goes on Oprah. I realize you're going to roll your eyes. I know. At least I'm not making you watch a clip from The View. That would be much significantly worse. However, she goes on Oprah, and then she drops yet another bomb, and a lot of folks didn't see this one coming. This is Kamala talking to Oprah.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
This is where the waters start getting muddy. To quote her, she says this, I'm in favor of the Second Amendment, and I'm in favor of assault weapons bans, universal background checks, red flag laws. These are just common sense. And then everybody clippy-clappies and gets nice warm feelings down their legs, to borrow a phrase. Now, on Oprah, she said this, and this is directly from the BBC. This is how they reported that. Listen to these words. Listen to this. Quote, if somebody breaks into my house, they're getting shot, she said in a jokey exchange during a live-streamed event in Michigan with host Oprah Winfrey on Thursday. After a laugh, the Democratic presidential nominee continued, quote, I probably shouldn't have said that, but my staff will deal with that later. And then she may or may not have gone on to talk about collard greens, which is one of my favorite quotes from this election cycle. All right, so she, at the debate, says what she says and then goes on Oprah and she's like, man, somebody getting shot if they come up in my hood, which is baffling to me. Now, there are some reports, and this is the part where I'm arming you. There are some reports, and you've seen it, some of y'all have, where one of Kamala's staff members came out and said, no, she doesn't own a gun. It looks like that video might have been manipulated. It's where she says she does own a gun and somebody added in doesn't, and it got circulated. It went around the rounds yesterday. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like that is fake news. Totally fake news that maybe she does have a gun. She says she was a prosecutor in LA and she needed personal protection. However, that firearm is locked in my house in LA. So she's already said, hey, that's locked in my house. Ain't nobody getting to that. This is the moment where we stop and go, by the way, she has 24-hour-a-day armed security. You all know what I have to say about this. Anybody, any person that has 24-hour-a-day armed security ethically should not be allowed to have any say-so of mine or yours, what we own. Eddie Vedder of, and I know y'all are going to go, oh my God, it's Pearl Jam. Well, it was interesting. He went wild over the weekend talking about how much he hates guns. And the responses by pretty much everybody was, yeah, I wonder how much security they have at the venue. Now, I said all of that to say this because people are kind of in the middle. I've had people reach out to me and go, why is she saying this? Somebody asked me not long ago. They said, Johnny, why is she doing all this gun stuff? Because she's trying to swing the moron moderates, people that are in the middle. Why? Because they are pliable. This is what politicians do. Would they really do that? Would they really go on the internet and lie? Yes, they would. I want to do two things now. Again, arming you with some info. Kamala, this is straight from KamalaHarris.com. I went there so you don't have to. Among other things on KamalaHarris.com, besides hot sauce recommendations and collard green recipes, she also says this, and this is straight from her presidential website. As president, she won't stop fighting so that Americans have the freedom to live safe from gun violence in our schools, communities, and places of worship. She'll ban assault weapons. And high-capacity magazines require universal background checks and support red flag laws that keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people. She will also continue to invest in funding law enforcement, including the hiring and training of officers and people to support them, and will build upon proven gun violence prevention programs that have helped reduce violent crimes throughout the country. There are so many lies packed into that. However, when a cheetah tells you they have spots, believe them. When the scorpion says, hey, I sting out of my tail, believe them. She says she's going to ban assault weapons. Now, I really believe this. People can move and change their beliefs. I have changed, and I've talked to y'all about this, on several issues over the last 5-8 years. As I've aged over the last long time, I have a little bit modified how I feel about capital punishment, a little bit. Like there's a little bit of ebb and flow a little bit. Ain't nobody changing on abortion or guns. Ain't nobody. When the cheetah tells you she has spots, believe her. Now I've got the one that I think every American should see. This is from the last presidential cycle, the one where she got thrown out on her ear. This is real. Take it away, Kamala.
Assault weapons that are already in circulation. What do you do about those?
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
All right, I know what you're going to say. How could somebody sell something back to the government that the government never owned? How is that called a buyback? My buddy Anthony yesterday goes, Who would do that? Who would sell an AR to the government? And I said, morons. There are a lot of people that would. Maybe somebody that inherited Grandpappy's AR or whatever. They would. They absolutely would. They would virtue signal. They would take a selfie and post it and go, look what I'm doing. I'm keeping people safe. This is a problem. It is a major problem. I wanted to take today just to get this out there and get people talking about it. She is a liar. She is this whole I own a gun and Tim Walz owns a gun is a lie. They both may own them, but they are committed. I'm not even bringing Tim Walz's words into this. Believe me, they are both committed to disarming you while remaining armed themselves. 24 hours a day is how often both of those have armed security. What say you? Let me know right down below what you say. Cackling Kamala, I say, is a big fat liar.
This gun fits my hand better than this one does.
Diabetes.